Shifting over to blood typing, the first thing I would like to go over with you is that there are 4 types of blood represented in the human species. We have type A blood, type B blood, type AB, and type O. Generally speaking, about 42% of the population is type A blood. About 45% of the population is type O blood. About 10% is type B, and about 4% is type AB. Now this is not including the Rh factor. When we look at blood types, we look at, do they have recognition sites on them or do they not? If they have a recognition site, then they will accept that blood type. If they do not have a recognition site, then they will react against that blood. So our recognition sites are our friends or our agglutinogens. Gens are friends. Type A blood would have A agglutinogens. Type B blood would have B agglutinogens. AB would have both A and B agglutinogens, where O would not have any recognition sites. They can also have antibodies that they would react against, and that's our agglutinins. Ins are enemies. So what would they react against? A type A blood would react against B. A type B blood would react against A. AB does not react against any type, so it is a universal acceptor. It will receive all blood types. Type O blood has both A and B agglutinins, and so it will only receive type O blood. It is a universal donor, and so as we look at A blood, A can receive A and O, B can receive B and O, AB can receive all, and O can only receive O. You need to study and know this chart for the lab practical. With regard to blood typing, the Rh factor was first identified on rhesus monkeys, and about 85% of the population is Rh positive, with 15% of the population being Rh negative. When we look at the Rh factor, it really is only a concern if an individual is receiving a blood transfusion, or if we have an Rh negative female who has married an Rh positive individual. Then the female would need to go through a series of shots to ensure she does not build up antibodies against the developing embryo. Now Rh positive is dominant, so positive positive is Rh positive, positive negative would be Rh positive, where Rh negative would receive the negative trait from both parents. As a general rule, Rh negative groups can give safely to Rh positive groups, but Rh positive should not be given to Rh negative. So let's begin by looking at blood typing. How do we tell if a person is type A blood, type B, type AB, or type O? How do we tell if they're Rh positive or Rh negative? Well, this is what a typical blood typing sheet would look like. And right here, what we would do is we would put a drop of blood here, drop of blood here, and a drop of blood here. We would put anti-A, which is typically a blue-colored solution, in with the blood and mix it. We would put anti-B in with the blood and mix it, and we would put the Rh factor in with the blood and mix it. If we see clotting in the A area, then we have type A blood. If we receive clotting in the Rh, it's positive, so we would have an Rh positive. If we were to see clotting in the B area, then we have a type B blood, so here we have B positive. If we have clotting in both A and B, then we are AB. Clotting here would be positive, no clotting here would be negative. Type O blood would not have clotting on either of these areas. With the previous slide covered, then let's see if we can identify what type of blood we have on these. Notice that we have clotting here and we have clotting here, so it appears that we would have an AB, clotting here, AB positive. Notice that here we do not have any clotting at all, so this appears to be an O negative slide. Finally, what we want to do is we want to learn to tell the parts of an artery and to be able to identify a slide is indeed an artery. So as we look at this, we can tell that this is an artery because we have a very thick wall. Veins have very thin walls. And so the layers of the artery are called the tunica. And we will have the tunica media, the tunica interna, and the tunica externa. So this area here would be the tunica intima. Right in here would be the tunica media. And this outer part right in here would be the tunica externa. This entire structure is an artery. And finally, one more time, you can see the tunica intima, media, and externa.